Captain's Log Supplemental. We just got life support back on, and we should have weapons and shield pretty soon. For the time being, I've confined Ensign Kuvat to his quarters. You know, of all the people, he was the one I least expected to get caught up in a Ferengi cryptocurrency scam, but he had half the ship's systems just mining Latherium. I managed to get 2,100 of the things before we finally shut him down. It's going to be weeks before we get all this untangled, and he's going to be hauled up pretty fast, but... Well, I mean, I'm going to hold on to the Latherium. You know, we'll see what happens. All right, everybody, welcome to Captain's Log Supplemental. This is a special edition. I have summoned, emergency contacted Rob and Chris for a conversation about something that is new and happening. And rather than waiting on our 8-week backlog of recorded episodes, we decided to put this out now. So Chris, Rob,
Stanford.
Do you know why we're gathered here today?
Sort of.
There is a new Star Trek game that got announced on Thursday.
Ah, yes.
Yes. So, a little bit of background on the three of us. We have been playing video games together off and on since college, and we have done so more regularly since just before the pandemic, I think.
Yep.
And the game that we started playing together, do you remember, Chris?
Was Stellaris the first one?
It was not, but it was close.
EU4?
It was EU4, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I believe what happened was that you and I've been complaining about EU4 for a long time. That's Europa Universalis 4. Mostly as a joke, but you two were playing it, and then I was like, I mean, I could try it, I guess, because I hadn't actually played that one yet. And then since then, we've been playing pretty much every week various games, not just EU4. But one of the bigger games that we've been playing together is Stellaris. The nice thing about Stellaris is that it gets new content often enough that we can keep getting back to it, because we'll play it for a few weeks and then we'll move on and then we'll come back to it.
Yep. Keeps it fresh. I do appreciate that aspect of Paradox games in general. I feel like I play the games a lot more because, there's something new to try and it changes the experience.
Stellaris is a little easier to play on repeat, too.
True.
It's not, here is Earth at 1333. It's never going to change.
That is true, yeah. And that's where it's kind of nice to do those kind of Space 4Xs because we can randomly generate a galaxy. I have been playing Space 4X games since 1995 when I played Masters of Orion 2. And as well as Civ 2, I think was out then. And that will be relevant. The Masters of Orion 2 will be relevant in just a moment here. But the reason that I am bringing those particular titles up, Stellaris and EU4, is that the publisher of this new game, which is called Star Trek Infinite. I wasn't sure if it was the adjective or the noun there. Star Trek Infinite. Is being published by Paradox. Okay. The developer, do either of you know who the developer on it is?
I haven't seen, no.
Oh, okay. It is Nimble Giant. That name may not mean anything to you.
That sounds semi-familiar. What else have they done?
They have done a few things. They are, I believe, a South American company. I know because I applied to work for them a year ago. And,
wow.
Yeah, coincidentally, and it's one of those things where it's I went through their forums, filled out an application, and of course, I just didn't hear back because, the job market post 2008 has been the same. But when I was doing research on the company as I applied to it, I believe they are a South American company, but they do have some titles that are released in English as well as in Spanish. And the most kind of relevant title is the newest Masters of Orion game.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Which,
yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember, but we did beta test that way back when.
Yeah.
I haven't played it recently, although I did check out the store page and it has good reviews still. So I actually might boot that up again in a little bit just to kind of refresh, because Massive Orion was always a fun time. Nimble Giant does Massive Orion. Paradox does a lot of various 4X games. Okay, they released a trailer for this game called Star Trek Infinite. All right, now I'm going to serve to you in the Discord channel the kind of cover image that they're using for this game. And let me get your opinions on that. Maybe Rob, you could just describe it since we're in an audio medium here.
It feels like a movie poster from the early 80s.
Well, I think what it does tell us is when this game takes place. You have, Captain Picard, looks like Gul Dukat, Gowron, and I can't remember the Romulan's name, but I do recall her. So
God damn, nicely done. Holy cow.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is definitely taking place kind of end of Next Generation during DS9 timeframe, it appears.
You just rattled those names out. When I first saw this image, I was like, okay, well, there's Picard. I got him. There's that Cardassian dude from DS9 that was an asshole. There's that bug-eyed Klingon guy who always seemed nervous about stuff. And then there was that Romulan that was mean about everything. Like, I recognized that they were people.
Yeah. I can't, dude, what's her name? I can't remember.
Dude, I don't know. I cannot even for the life of me pull out an episode she was in, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think this time frame makes sense for like a Star Trek 4X games. This is definitely like as far as Star Trek universe goes, one of the heights in kind of
tension,
national conflict, so to speak, between Klingons, Cardassians, Romulans, and the Federation. So
now, interestingly, and I'm not a viral internet marketing campaign kind of person, so I don't know how to read into this, but their little intro video, their little teaser trailer, had a captain doing a captain's log and explaining like that they were going up against the Borg. In that teaser trailer, it was a Galaxy class, a few Intrepid class, and then some other random Federation ships all going up against a Borg cube. And that captain said the star date was 43152.4. Okay. Now, like I said, I don't know how to look into stuff like this. I'm not good at that kind of viral marketing, where people start like digging like image maps out of sound waves and shit, like in ways that I don't understand. But that specific star date does actually appear inside the Star Trek universe. It is an episode of TNG in season 3.
Interesting.
So nicely done on pegging down the time frame of this. Yeah. Because DS9 and Season 3 of TNG overlap for a bit. If you look towards the bottom of the image, you will actually see the thing that most obviously to me looks like a 4X space map.
Yep. It looks like you got Cardassians, Federation, Klingon, Romulan, kind of corresponding territory.
Right.
Yep.
And that, just seeing that immediately reminded me of an old game I used to play by Microprose called Birth of the Federation, which I think I've talked about before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played it, but I think we discussed it on a previous episode.
Yeah, Microprose. Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
Were they the devs of Masters of Orion 1 and 2 as well?
Yes.
Was it that same publisher? Okay.
Yes.
Microprose made some awesome games back in the day. They also made a super awesome like Mech Warrior tactical game. I can't remember. I think it was.
Were
I
they
can't remember
the first ones who made? Was that Mech Commander?
It
was like an RTS.
Yeah, that's what it was. Mech Commander. Yeah,
Mech
that
Commander.
was Microprose.
I didn't realize that was Microprose because Microsoft bought the rights to that for Mech Commander too. I didn't know that was Microprose. Microprose had some awesome games. I don't think they failed. I think they just got bought by somebody.
I think that's right. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're still making games. Like, didn't they make Carrier Command, the most recent one, when we were looking at that?
I don't know what Carrier Command is, but it sounds super lame.
Yeah, they are still around. Huh.
Oh, crazy.
Interesting. Yeah, nothing big, though, recently.
Yeah, I don't know what they drifted to, because, like, obviously some staples of my childhood are in their catalog, but I haven't heard of a single game they've made since.
Right.
But Birth of the Federation was a turn-based 4X Star Trek game that was very cool. I enjoyed it. It had a lot of fun interactions between like the 5 main empires, because they also included the Ferengi as an empire in addition to these 4. And then there were also like minor civilizations that were just like one planet or one star system that were scattered around, and they had a pretty cool like interaction in order to like bring them into the fold. You could either just like take them by force or convince them to join you. And each minor civilization had like a unique technological building thing that like gave you some cool perks and stuff. Very, very cool stuff. Kind of very similar to like the way that in Stellaris most recently you can get those like primitive civilization technologies.
Oh yeah, those are fun.
They are fun.
Right.
I enjoyed both those and the Archeo technologies.
The Archeo technologies are fun. The only problem I have with them is that like I don't like my ships costing minor artifacts, because I'm like, why don't I have any minor artifacts, and why are my ships taking so long to like retrofit?
Yep, I've been there. They are pretty cool though. I think they definitely spiced up the gameplay around like artifacts and just kind of all of the in between technology stuff.
Absolutely. So I am very excited about this game. Like I said, I played Birth of the Federation. I've been playing Master of Orion for, oh, Jesus Christ. Is that almost 30 years now? Oh, God. Oh, I don't like how that sounds. Obviously, we've all been playing a lot of Paradox titles. So, this is going to be a short little episode, but I want to, like, do kind of a mini potpourri and ask you, like, given the knowledge that a Star Trek Space 4X game is coming out, what would you most like to see in that?
Interesting.
Yeah, and I didn't prepare you ahead of time because I thought it'd be more fun to hear what you like come up with off the top, and for like Chris to come up with the idea that we all had, so that we can like tell him that he stole our idea.
Well, that's interesting.
I can go first. I think
go ahead. Yeah, if you got something.
I would like to see some interesting neutral factions. Like if they, like similar to like the mid or late game Crisis in Stellaris, if they just had like a Borg incursion, that would kind of be a fun way to spice up gameplay. If they had like, neutral Ferengi traders, kind of like the Caravaneers in Stellaris, that would also be fun. Like I feel like there's a lot of flavor they could take away from Stellaris. Like Stellaris to me is like the peak of sci-fi 4X, and learning from that, I think it would be a good move on their part.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I'm sure there are people who would. Ooh.
Oh yeah. What okay.
What a statement.
So you made me think, you mentioned the Borg and having them as kind of a some type of incursion conflict to deal with. I think that is one option. I think also having the option to play them would be interesting, and just kind of I think they would offer a much different play style.
The Star Trek Armada 2 approach.
Right. Yeah. Where your objectives are different. Your way of doing things is wholly different. I think that could really make things interesting if that happens. That would be pretty cool in my opinion.
Become the Crisis.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
Become the Crisis, but also like Stellaris does have Borg inspired Empire options, right? The driven assimilators option and stuff. So that like that, there is precedent inside these, developmental ecosystems that exist for that.
So I think the other thing, would you guys be for introducing like or featuring known characters in the game as well, or would you just kind of want to keep it kind of unknown stuff?
So I don't know the answer to that, because like on the one hand, you're talking like a hero system or something of that nature, where
something to that effect. Yeah, maybe like you assign a captain, and the captain's grant like special abilities or bonuses to the fleet or whatever.
Right, and if you're the Federation, like Picard might show up or Janeway or whatever. Yeah,
that would be fun.
Yeah, I could see. I could definitely like. It wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't find it bothersome. But I wouldn't say that that's something I'd really look forward to, but I could definitely see it being fun. The only trouble I have with that is that if I had to pick something that I would want to do in a Star Trek game like this is I wouldn't mind making my own civilization, not being forced into the Romulans, the Federation, the Cardassians, or the Klingons,
That would be interesting for sure.
Oh, shit. You know what would be cool, though? If there was an option to play, Mirror Universe Terran Federation?
Oh.
Or was it Terran Confederacy or whatever the fuck they call themselves?
Yeah, one of those.
DLC incoming.
Oh, that would be fun. You get the new, and just it's all the same hero characters, except they wear dark clothing and have wicked scars and shit.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to include some type of away mission mechanic to it, because obviously that's a big part of Star Trek is, the missions that they go on, and I wonder if they'll introduce something like that, or they'll just kind of ignore that part of the universe.
Oh, it would be neat if that's how the Federation winds up getting more planets to join. They go and send envoys for away missions.
That's an interesting idea. My hesitation there would be one of those when I say things you don't want your game doing too much because then it starts losing. Because Birth of the Federation was a 4X game and there were not away missions, but Stellaris does have those anomaly.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. It might be handled something you initiate the mission and maybe you have a pop-up or a decision to make one way or the other that'll affect the outcome.
Right. And now I don't know, I think as I understand it, Paradox is the publisher, Nimble Giant is the developer. So I don't think this game is going to be like Clausewitz engine.
Right.
So I don't know how much inspiration from Stellaris mechanically is going to go into this game. But that, if you're going to do away missions, I guess the anomaly system would be how I would handle that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
It would be very funny if, your away mission options, you have to it's we need 3 crew members to check out these readings on this planet. And you can put your main crew members in there, or you could just fill it in with some random ensigns and shit.
It's just a bunch of red shirts.
Yeah, then you can rank them up if they succeed, right?
Right. But if you put a big hero in there, it's Picard plus 2 nameless dudes. It's Picard's probably not going to die.
Probably.
Yeah, there's some weighted algorithm making sure that he stays alive behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a programming function that just has plot armor.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They just have that noted out in the programming. It's fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also wanted to tell you, Rob, that in Birth of the Federation as well, the further you got into the game, the more Borg cubes kind of showed up towards the point where, at the end, they were everywhere. So it was kind of that same principle of, there is this kind of, late game crisis almost.
Yeah,
And because they were tough. You could get them down if you had enough ships and stuff, but they were not an easy fight.
Hey, I meant to mention too earlier, but do you know, we were talking about microprose earlier. Do you know who co-founded that?
No idea.
Sid Meier. Sid Meier and anher guy.
Oh, you know what? That's funny. I was going to say...
They developed the first 2 Civs.
I was going to say when I was microprose, I think they got bought by someone. Maybe it was Sid Meier, because I knew that they were related somehow. I did not realize that was how. So this is prior to Sid Meier being its own company?
Correct, yeah. Firaxis, before he did Firaxis. Yeah, the microprose developed Civilization 1 and 2.
That would explain
I think they made the original Railroad Tycoon. I remember playing it with the microprose symbol up on it.
Yeah.
Railroad Tycoon, the original Railroad Tycoon. I played that too. Wow. Was my entire childhood just microprose and Sega Genesis?
I mean, listen, we have very specific tastes, and there are companies that cater to that.
Yes. So is Paradox the new microprose? That's the
clearly, yeah. That's we do enjoy a lot of their games and play quite a few of them. That's for sure.
Oh man. So yeah, and as far as something that I look forward to, I always like when they take, and this is me being a complete fucking dork, I always like when they take the ships and stuff that I see in the show and apply technical specs that I can play with in a game. So I really enjoy like, oh, it's the Federation, but we still have to have like some general game mechanical ship classes and stuff. So it's like, oh, well, we've got the scout ship, and then the destroyer will be, this kind of ship and stuff. It's fun to see the different ship classes being used that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. What's I mean, we're in that time period. I mean, the Galaxy is the battleship, right? I mean, there's no bigger Federation ship, is there? I don't like the Intrepid class was the biggest ship in Birth of the Federation because those movies were out. But they also had like the Strike Carrier and shit, which were like big ships, but they were just differently shaped and stuff. Oh, gotcha.
Did I say Intrepid class? That's not what I meant. Because that's the Voyager. There was one of those in there too. What's the class for the Enterprise E?
Yep.
Sovereign.
That's it. Sovereign class. Did you pull that out or did you look it up?
No, I was thinking back to my old Chris. What was that RTS? The Star Trek RTS we used to play.
Star Trek Armada.
Armada. Yeah. That was in Armada.
Yes. Yeah. It was in the second Armada. I don't know if it was in the first one. I didn't play the first one that much. The second Armada is where the Borg were and stuff. So I know that one happened after First Contact. Star Trek Armada 2 was one of those games where like, it's fun. I get it. But it was also super fucking unbalanced.
Yes, it was.
So I'm looking forward to seeing all the like the models and seeing how the game mechanics operate around the fun models and stuff that the show has. Although we can all agree that no one's gonna like the Cardassian ship models because they're terrible.
They're real bad. Plus, like, are they just gonna like make some up? Because like I only remember seeing like 2 Cardassian ships, and they both are basically the same. Just one is smaller.
Yeah, they're the Birth of the Federation had a whole slew of Cardassian ships, but they were all like variations on the same theme. Also, I decided post a conversation that we had last time, although you will not hear it for a few weeks yet. The other reason that I hate the Romulan Bird of Prey is that it doesn't thematically fit with any of their other ships. Because all of the Romulan ships are like green and kind of look like, like moray eel kind of dealios, not moray eel, manta ray kind of dealios and stuff, except for the Bird of Prey, which is silver, has a bird on it, and looks like a swoopy 60s bullshit.
It was all flat because it was supposed to be stealthy.
It cloaks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just as stealthy as an enormous warbird.
It's like the stealth bombers in the U.S. Air Force. They don't look a damn thing like the rest of the fighters.
Those are the B-2s, you mean? The big wings?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are cool. Those are cool looking. So, anyways, that's all I had, and I appreciate you two pulling away from your busy weekends to come talk to me and let me geek out about this game, because I'm actually really looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. There's not a lot of details about it. It was just kind of teased. I think there's going to be a bigger information release later this summer. But I doubt this game's coming out before like next year. Although rumor has it like there are builds of it out in the world. So it's not like this has never been touched and they're just going to start programming it. Like there are people working on this now. So
yeah, so it just says coming soon. So who knows what that means?
Yeah. So, so Star Trek Infinite, I'm looking forward to it, but that's all I've got. Anyone else want to leave us with anything?
No, I think it'll be exciting to watch it as details come out, and we get to learn a little bit more, and maybe we'll touch on it again later.
Maybe by the time it comes out, we'll have this huge fan base and we can stream it or some shit.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
It's like watch as the three dudes from this one podcast suck at this game together.
That's the other. We'll eventually suck less at it, though.
If there are only 4 empires, like there's got to be more than that, right? Like, because we can't play it together then, because we don't play against each other.
Yeah, I do wonder, because like obviously if there's only 4, it doesn't really leave you a lot of flexibility, especially for like a 4X game.
Right.
So I do wonder how that will be handled.
Yeah,
will be like different like factions of each like empire.
Oh yeah, maybe, because Birth of the Federation only had the 5, right? Because it was these 4 plus the Ferengi, and that was it. So if you wanted to play with buddies, like,
right,
you had to play against each other.
Wait, in Armada?
No, Star Trek Birth of the Federation, the old 4.
Oh, okay. I was going to say with Armada, you could just both play the Federation.
Yes,
right,
in Armada, you could just be whatever, because it's an RTS, so you could just be whatever you want to be.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, thank you everyone who tuned into this. We will be back on Monday with a real episode. But this will be a nice little bonus for the, several followers we have now. So awesome. All right, everybody, take care.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to Captain's Log Supplemental. You can follow us on Twitter at PodCLS or send us hate mail at podcls3@gmail.com.